Good morning. Happy Thursday. It is July 30th. I am Miss Marie, and this is Giving It To You Straight. Live from the East Coast. Happy Thursday and happy birthday to all my beautiful Leos. Today it is the Soul Truth, some gratitude energy, and what's the news for each of you as we get straight into some cosmic truth for your heart, finances, career, or your soul's journey. Let's uncover what the universe, the divine, the heart, the sacred unseen has for us today. Basically, here's what's unfolding. Like what hasn't happened yet. And so, as we're gonna explore love, if you're dealing with any confusion or situation, what are you not aware of, and what are you aware of? All you need in this moment is to take a deep breath, relax, and connect to your heart, and drop some love in this life. Welcome, everyone. Gratitude is the attitude to have. For the moment of gratitude, all emotional pieces lock in. Let me know if you care. You're here. Cosmic magic. Drop some cosmic fire, some earth, some water, some air. Let me know you care. Stay connected here for more cosmic guidance. Good morning. Good morning. Gratitude. One more. Thank you. All right, let's see here. We have, think of someone who has a positive impact on your life and hold that person in your heart. And just be grateful that you have somebody having a positive impact in your life right now in the moment. The quote of the day is, when you have a dream, grab it and never let it go, Never let it go, So basically, share daily, helps people think about life, work, and behavior. So today, just take time to reflect, learn, discuss. No one ever said that life was fair, just eventful. Life moves through us. It changes the moments. It does not promise us balance. We could have to create balance with choices that we make. All right. And we accept events as they come. Many people read a card or to gain some direction, reflection, or clarity on a situation before starting to work or study. So take some time you know, to spend with yourself. So yeah, to be inspired. We confuse commitment, consistency, flow with inspiration. We confuse that. Hey, Nareen. Hey, Pinky. Hey, how are you? I'm doing good. What up? What up? Good morning. Soul Truth Thursday for the collective. How are you doing today? We have a question. Drop it down. Good morning. Let's get started with this live. Praise Jesus. There you go. Josiah, Jesus Christ. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Praise Jesus. Amen. All right, let's go ahead and speak about the Jesus and what he represents to each and every one of you. If you want to talk about it, you can talk about it. One thing about to be inspired, because we confuse inspiration for commitment. To be inspired is to feel truth without yet living it. It's the moment something moves you before it becomes action, habit, or choice. And so inspiration is basically that inner spark of realization. Something feels possible, a sense of meaning, an emotional, spiritual insight. Inspiration lives in the heart, all right? So we have to be mindful that sometimes our imagination, Let's go ahead. Soul Truth. One more. Josiah Licious. Soul Truth today. What risk can you take to move towards your dreams? Make a decision and do it. No more thinking, only doing. Be brave and courageous, and you'll discover what you're really made of. I used to be in such a low part of my life, but a what? But then I realized I was lukewarm with my faith through. I always went to a church and read my Bible, and I hardly even connected with God. I like that. Yeah, and so how you feel now? Because the difference about spirituality is different. It's about walking your path. Religion is more about the container. And so, you understand? So however you connect now, how you feel like, because you feel more alive? But after that, I went to a conference. Thank you, Jackie. Then you said what? Thank you, Jackie. Good morning. Good morning. So you said what? And I hardly even connected. Wait, what you said? But after that, I went where? I went to a conference and it changed my life and faith journey. Good. What kind of conference you went through? What kind of conference? Thank you for the is that what is that again? I forgot. Super channel. Super thanks. Thank you for the super thanks. Hi Jackie. Hi. If you have a question, one thing about that, we rise together like stars, We raise our vibration and our frequency. So when you get that star in the judgment, like Yeshua, he rose the energy in his body until it lit up like stars. And that is what's actually stepping out of those tombs. And that's what we can do. We activate the God spark, the Christ flame, the Christ consciousness. We get that steady rhythm. All right. What's the news? Understand a little bit about spiritual and the lessons. When we look at karma, that is real, pranish, life force, energy, and the moon strengthens your psychic abilities. Everything is connected in the universe. Manifestation, lucid dreams are real. Healing is a everyday process. Energies are real, and your body can sense it. Happiness and self-love is medicine. So when we start to understand ourselves, I was in Cleveland, Tennessee, and me and my friends went and we just learned so much, and I learned to have faith in God in my community. There you go. And however you experience God is entirely up to you. That's the differences between, my perception of things. Yours is different. Do we follow blindly? Do we look at things? It's all in your perspective. So congratulations to you, however you connect to God. All right. However you understand God. I'm not here for the religion part of it. I'm here to share some hidden knowledge as we understand when we're dealing with duality. And a lot of us, we mistake our emotional urges for intuition because it can lead you to following secular groups, cults, all in the name of spirituality. They practice is very negative and wrong, And of course, when we struggle with spirituality, when we're trying to get behind the veil, but not succeeding, and we do, you understand? So understanding a little bit different. Anybody has a question, come on in. Ask your question, your soul truth. So however you understand Jesus, how you understand God. I'm not here for the religious part of it. If you sever your connection to the divine, you have to restore it. That is entirely up to you. All right. You have to restore your connection to the divine through the heart. It is through that flame. It is all in the way you understand your heart, the magnetic fields of your heart. Remember that your heart is magnetic and your thoughts are electrical. All right. So when you start to understand, when you raise your vibration, understanding even this is why I don't speak about the chakras. Those are dimensions of you, and yeah, a lot of people are not aware of a lot of things. So anyway, today is about looking into what? Not letting your day get away from you. It is time to go. What is time to go? What are the things that need to go? What needs to unfold in your life that hasn't happened yet? Or what will be unfolding in your life and why? Okay? What will be unfolding in your life and why? A lot of times we get that strength card. That is fear and panic. That says, when that fear and panic sets in, that gives you strength, and that's a call to be safe. to be yourself. All right, let's go ahead. All right, nobody has a question. If you could have an animal's ability, what would it be? Do I want to get into that? I don't feel like trying it. They ask you guys a question. All right, what is the news? I'm gonna go to all 12 zodiac signs. What is the news for today? Remember when the moon is in your house, it basically exposes things in your life, something that needs to be nurtured, something that happens in your home or in your workplace. It's just gonna what's hidden, okay? It could be you, your shadows. It's all about exposing. Sun and moon just exposes things. It makes it what's unhidden, what's hidden come out. Okay. Let's go ahead. Let me see. I don't follow no circular groups. I don't follow blindly. You know, I understand that God is a force within me. And that's just basically it. Without all the abstract. Because it could get very confusing. With that being said, let's go ahead. There's too much information out there. What's the news for Leo? Leo, happy birthday. May you live for the bliss, joy, beauty, happiness all around you. You know, when you have a dream, just grab it and never let it go. All right? Share daily. All right? People need to stay more cohesive. One more. What's the news? Nobody has a question today? That's it? This is where we at? Nobody has a question. What's the news? You know, one of the things about optimism, intuitive, and practical energy, you know, if you're a person with bright inner energy and a strong life force, you crave joy, movement, and emotional honesty. A lot of us don't like emotional stagnation, you know. We like to keep things moving, feeling alive. One more. One more. What's the news for Leo? One more. And thank you. All right, let's see here. Leo, roller coaster. Full of highs and lows, off and on again, hot and cold. Or you're going on an adventure today, Leo. All right? Happy birthday. Maybe you're going out to a water park, a theme park celebrating. But, you know, one thing about this car, life is like a roller coaster. Sometimes things are very, very, you know. Do we cling on to when life is really high? And we don't ever stay at the bottom. We never stay at the top. Finding your center with this roller coaster. All right? And off it again, hot and cold. I don't really like using these cards, but I'm going to use them. Just enjoy the uncertainty. Receives evidence, guilty as charged, exposed. Aries, you got evidence, guilty as charged, and exposed. What's the news for today? Oh, wow. Wow. Wow, this is crazy. Oh, wow. Wow, I can't even put this on. I can't even put this if I wanted to. Taurus, you got lust, you got greed, bareback, and inconsiderate. It could be you, or it could be your person. Taurus, I can't even put that. That's wow, that is crazy. Those were Taurus's moon, sun, and Venus. All right. Or even your rising sign. You could be dealing with somebody. You could be the one that is lusty, is greed, bareback, and inconsiderate. Wow. Wow. Ooh. So we got Gemini, TikTok Gemini, deadline, procrastination, and too busy. Gemini. Wow, these cards are heavy. Wow. What's the news? TikTok. Anyway, even looking at this card here, Gemini. Now TikTok has where you could be scrolling, all right, and you could get paid. You could get like stars and stuff like that, or points, whatever it was. It's on the news now. All right. So if you spend endless time scrolling through the internet, now you can basically get paid. Remember that your time is value. It has value in it. All right. So there are deadlines, there are procrastinations, they're too busy. But if you spend now you could get paid basically. You could earn stars, Gemini. So if you spend time on TikTok scrolling, now you could get paid. All right. That's what it's giving me intuitively. SOS, distress, act with urgency, assistance needed. Uh this is for Virgo. Virgo. No, Cancer, I'm sorry. Why am I going well anyway, you know what? Rebound. Fighting temptation, unpredictable intentions. These are new. These are new. These are new. The new boo, new love, learning each other, flirtation. Let me start again. That was for Cancer. I'm gonna start again. I want to see. Wow, these are some heavy cards. This is what's the news. This is like what's the tea. Wow, I thought the tea were heavy, but this one is wow. Yeah, these are heavy. Wow. No questions. Nobody has a question. Good morning. Good morning. Sun gold coin. Thank you for the gold coin, Jack. But after that, I went through my life and all right. Nobody has a question. Come on in if you have a question. Let's get this party started. Nobody likes the soul's journey. I should put a poll. You know what? I'm just gonna put a poll. Who liked the soul's journey? What is your soul telling you? Maybe if I explain a little bit about the soul and the spirit and all that. All right. Sometimes I just gotta bring awareness. All right, and understand. And I like to do that. I like to do that. That's my best part here. All right. When we look at the in each, we like each and every one of us, we are selling the universe. Ultimately, life is a dream that the sun is having, and then the ego is a dream that the soul is having, and of course, the soul is a dream that the spirit is having, and of course, the spirit is a dream of source having. Ultimately, we are God's dreams, and there's only one God, so we're literally made of. This is the way God experiences uh, here, right through duality. So you are universal. There's no separation, right? So when you understand that the universe, if you don't understand the universe, you don't understand yourself, basically. Okay, and so when we look at the way you connect to your higher self or your ordination or your reincarnation, you know what I mean? So it could get really difficult when we don't really understand universal energy. And when we say we're universal, we look at the carbon, the calcium, all those things were created before, according to science, that means. So when we look at the chakras, they represent a stage in evolutionary journey of consciousness. So consciousness, at the end of the day, when we look at consciousness, because I already put that on, I already put that. When we look at the water, the rock, the fire, the air, right? Uh, because simple consciousness itself, there's no image, there's no personality inside of the consciousness yet. Just awareness, bringness of consciousness eventually evolves to what we call the self-consciousness. And that is unique. So the human being, the mind inverts on itself and it becomes objective to itself. So this is what we constantly projecting, all right? And so when we look at Yeshua, like when he came in and when he talk about Jesus, and we understand Jesus, fourth density wanderer who is in higher density and return back to the third, to this around, to be of service. to help the struggling planet here. All right. And so, yeah. But pure to, we understand the pure electric, magnetic energy, and so at the end of the day, we rise together like stars, and that's what Jesus did in the flame and the Christ consciousness through that steady rhythm, through a different frequency of vibration, because we are high vibrational beings anyway. So, yeah. So understand consciousness a little bit at least. Let's see. Nobody has a question. I'm surprised. All right, I'll wait a little bit. So, yep, hidden knowledge. When you're dealing with duality and what duality is, and the paradoxes, because, of course, when we look at our dual nature, a lot of us are struggling because we mistake those emotional urges for intuition, because this can lead to following secular groups, cults, in the name of spirituality. All right. So if you're struggling, if you're trying to get behind the veil but not succeeding, you know, as you understand your soul's journey and your spiritual path, you know, do you understand your feminine side, basically? You know, if you get caught up with the material of life, the things in front of the veil, looking at things without any depth, superficial information, ignore your intuition and understanding, and being uh mind dominant. So you got to be careful with the energy. Yeah. All right. That's what the high priestess is basically telling you a lot of the time. That's why it says to follow your intuition, listen to that voice. And then, by the time you get to the death card, you understand that there is no death. The energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be trapped or transformed. You know, us as physical being, the body's bacteria of the dust of the ground. You understand? So I want to come deep, and yeah. So every mindful choice that we make, it is aligned with well-being, and of course, that often creates a ripple effect of healing when we practice patience and compassion towards others. So if you're ready to learn, I'm ready to teach. And what are the spiritual lessons? What is going on? What should I get into? What needs to unfold? Like, am I doing my morning rituals? When I'm speaking, am I creating? Do I be mindful of the words that I speak, what I think? Do I cleanse? Do I refresh? How do I attract abundance? Do I write things down that I'm grateful for? Am I connecting mindfully? Am I inhaling that prana, that life force? Uh, am I igniting clarity? And what are you using? Are you self-healing? Are you spending some time? Are you open to change, basically? So do you write down your goals, your intentions for the day? Do you nourish yourself with love? Do you go for a walk in nature? What are you basically doing? You know. So yeah. Do you have a connection to other people? That universal love, that 4-4. I'm gonna step into the numbers because you guys like numbers. All right. And so basically, when we see especially 1111, because it's seen as a powerful alignment and awakening, and what it means basically when we look at it from a spiritual lens, that into an astrological lens, from both. When we understand that alignment of new beginnings, it's just about heightening you with awareness. It's often a gateway or a portal through consciousness, right? Because when it shows up in your thoughts, your intuition, and energy are syncing quickly with reality. So basically, it's telling you to be mindful. Your thoughts are powerful right now. So what you focus on is magnetic and it's manifesting fast. So it's basically reminding you to think deliberately, not habitual. All right. So just those things like that. You're like, oh, 1111. What is it telling me? So we have all different numbers. All right. Let me take a quick break. Yeah. Because I see a lot of inspiration here. I see a lot of the feeling of possibility, a sense of meaning, and emotional, spiritual awakening. But inspiration lives in the heart. So we go and when we hold that thought in our mind, and nothing happens with our inspiration, of course, is what gets us moving. Something moves to become before it becomes action. And of course, the action becomes habit. And then after that, you get the choice. All right. When you embody it, you make it real, So, do you commit? Do you have consistency? Do you have follow through? Do you have the capacity? Are you showing up consistently? Are you changing your behavior? All right. I think I'm going to come back with a different live. Let's get it now, baby. Let's get it now. Baby, baby, that's what we gonna do. Let's get it now. Fear, panic. Let me put it. You gotta ask for what you gotta do. That's good. Okay, I'm gonna come back with a different line. Let's get it on. Baby, baby, baby. What up? Nobody has a question? Wow, I'm surprised. All right, I think I'm going to come back with a different live. But before I leave, what's the news? I'll be back with a different live. I don't know if you guys wanted something. Energy cannot be destroyed. Everything is a cycle. Things, people. Nature recycles. One more. One more. Thank you, thank you. One more. What's the news? I'm going to start again with Leo. Leo, I'm just going to give you the message. What's the news? What is the news today? I'm using this deck. And this is full of realism, love, drama, warning, lust, haters, and oh, juicy. Oh, yeah, it's juicy. Oh, boy. Work-related issues, karmic situations, family situations, love relationships, or what they call the twin flames that I don't believe in, but that's just from my experience. Player, playing the field, not looking to settle, seeking options. Leo, you got the same thing before. You got the roller coaster. Now you got the player. Either you got to play a player, Leo, that of course, he's playing the field. He's seeking other options. And now he's not looking to settle. And of course, before you got the roller coaster, which is hot and cold. Uh, so this is the energy. Or you could be single. You're not looking into settling. You're seeking options. And so there you go. Aries, masculine pride, toxic masculinity, meeting manly expectation. This could be your person or this could be you. Too much pride. Don't let pride and overconfidence be your masters. Toxic masculinity, meeting manly expectations. It's standards, it's not expectations. Okay. And so I want to talk a little bit about the masculine toxic energy, especially women, because a lot of us get that Mars, that sun, that driven, and sometimes we could be overwhelmed by that because it'll become toxic because it needs femininity. All right, this is how duality works here. All right, when we look at the paradox, what happened when two archetypes are both active. Neither is meant to cancel the or eliminate the other one. All right, so you may have Venus, you may have Mars, desires, but then you have Saturn. Like those two planets, those are different dimensions of you because you could get that love, but the Saturn has the limits on it. All right, when you integrate, that equals compromising. All right, a new expression of you has to emerge. So, but a lot of things are paradoxes, threatens identity because it says that you don't get to be just one thing only. All right, that's why paradoxes appears during growth and not comfort. And the mind struggles because the ego works in binaries, this or that, safe or dangerous, right or wrong. But when we look at the masculine, those are aspects of you. Those are our energies. When we look at the masculine side, because of course society celebrates the masculine energy, and it says you have to work this hard and you have to be this strong and you have to stay in total control, but you don't let that feminine energy, let's just say Aries for you, so you can understand a little bit about how I do in nature. And one of the last principle is of course, it's of gender. Both of them need integration. They could coexist together, your masculine and your feminine energy. But when we disconnect from our feminine energy, meaning that we're missing out. Listen, just clearly. When we disconnect from the feminine energy, we're missing out on the strength that comes from empathy, intuition, and ability to nurture not just your relationship, but it's all about your personal growth as well, okay, and your creativity. When you recognize in the energy, listen, look, when you have excessive masculine energy, it's the first step towards reestablishing balance here. All right, and embracing the full spectrum of our capabilities and moving towards a life that values achievement and ambition. So we need to have more like emotional well-being, all right, and how to embark on the signs. If like, listen, the journey back to balance here, all right. If you're always in the competitive mode, if you struggle to express emotions, if you get overwhelmed and need to control, situations, if you have a difficulty receiving help, uh, if you have a lot of challenges in your relationship, if you feel burnout, you know, uh, so basically, understanding that a lot of times that you have to structure our body, and we have to go take time to understand between logic and of course intuition, because we don't get to, okay, we have logic and we have intuition, you know. And so, yeah. So if you get like really high stress levels, if you're always in competition and you struggle to express emotion, you have to learn how to have this masculine and feminine energy. And those are different. Because that's not exclusive to men, right? When we look at the energy of the masculine, the aspect, one side of you, you're just not masculine or you're just not feminine, all right? Okay? So when you struggle with that masculine energy, that sun or that Mars, we got action, logic, strength, and assertiveness. Of course, the energy could propel us towards achievement, goal, problem solving, and taking charge of our lives. It's that drive that wakes us up at dawn and pushing us to conquer our to-do list and tackle challenges head on. Of course, you represent the head Aries, all right? But the masculine energy in harmony with feminine energy, it helps us create balance and approach to life with our many facets, all right? And to help us to harness this beautiful power that lies in balance, just as the yin, because you understand the yin and the yang, the feminine energies, the masculine and feminine. When they work together, they thrive. They complement each other. They're gonna lead us to be more rounded, more authentic. We could express ourselves, all right. And of course, but a woman with an overabundance of masculine energy can manifest in a lot of different aspects of her life, all right. And it's gonna lead you to feeling dissatisfaction and unbalance, all right. So, but society celebrates it, and says, our success is driven by masculine traits, and of course, when women we want to do what we do with a lot of masculine energy. We find ourselves not just in competition, but with ourselves. When we strive for achievement that brings little joy, and our relationships are going to suffer. All right, and yeah, so just understand that a little bit, okay? I don't know why nobody's asking a question. That's weird. All right, let me get this. Let me hide this. I don't know. Let me remove that. All right. Oh wow. All right, now it's coming in. I got stuck there. I was Yeah, I had to remove the energy. Wow. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And you put too much energy. You put too much energy. We'll be able to pass in class 12. Yeah. Oh, you got physics. I love physics. All right. All right. So yeah, so just understand that, so just understand a little bit about how to bring more, how to make these two coexist. All right. How not to choose one side. No, a new state of you must emerge. All right. Understand your Venus. Understand that you're multifaceted. You're like this beautiful diamond. All right. And that goes with your psyche, That goes with your psyche. So one part of a complex situation, because when we look at the multifaceted, it's one side, one aspect, or one dimension of something that has many sides. Okay. And so, of course, in psychology, can mean the subtrait of a larger trait. For example, if you have like you know, personality, because remember that we create the ego. It creates to other people's view towards us. All right, and if we walk around looking all good, maybe you don't feel like that. All right, with all these muscles, you could be a nice, warm person, but you let your identity, how other people see you, create that narcissist. All right. Anyway, if you look at one side of your soul and a different expression of your archetype, understand that you are larger pattern. All right. So polarity, archetypes, integration. You just basically exploring different types or different facets of consciousness. All right. That's all it is. Consciousness. You being aware. All right. Oh, am I the miniature of the cosmos? Hanzala, hey Hanzala, with Mustang. Nope, I'm not doing that. Marriage proposal of my son for his daughter. I'm not doing that today. Sorry. Not today. Not today. Not today. Not today. And she put a lot of energy. Like, what is up? That's just disgusting. Stop putting so much energy. Jeez. What do you? I mean, where are you? Come on, come on. You don't have to do all that. It's ridiculous. I could give you a what's the news. All I could give you is what's the news. When you look at these cards, especially for you, Leo, playing the field, not looking for to settle, seeking options. All right. I know this for a fact. I have somebody in my family that is with a Leo, and it's not taking that person. It's always traveling, going out. Uh, and Leo waits for them. But anyway, so just be mindful. I know this card very well, very very well. Okay. Uh, just self-worth. One thing about your Venus, it will collapse. Your Venus, if your self-worth drops, your Venus collapses, especially when it goes right now, when it leaves when Venus leaves Virgo's energy domain, when it goes into the Libra. It's when it leaves there, it's gonna express itself different. It's not gonna let you deal with one-sided relationship. But hey, every relationship is different. All right, let's go ahead. TikTok. Look, Gemini, if you go back to the earlier, You got TikTok, TikTok. If you spend a lot of time scrolling, all right, and if you go back, if you spend time scrolling on social media, Gemini, now you could get paid. You could get I think coins or something like that, or stars. You could get something. All right, for those of you that spend a lot of time scrolling on the internet, now you could get that. Your time is, remember that your time is valuable. All right, you don't get to you're not rehearsing. You're actually living your life from within, recalling memories, missing someone, and reminiscing. And this is for Cancer. Oh, I know. Wait a minute. So this is Leo. This is Aries, Gemini. I didn't do Taurus. I didn't do Taurus. All right, Taurus. I'm gonna go in the middle for you, Taurus. All right, Taurus. You got a really nasty card. There you go. New love. Learning each other and flirtations. You got a new boo. Taurus. Taurus got a really nasty card before. Yeah, it was really nasty. It was really nasty. It was a strawberry with. It was a strawberry. And it was lusty. All right. It was nasty. You know. So if you have somebody that just wants to come and lay up with you, and just selfish, they just want to come and do them, or it could be you that just want to lay up and have sex and just worrying about the pleasure. Remember, Venus in your house. Venus in your house, Taurus, she's not productivity. She's not. She's sexual. She's pleasure. All right? We're talking about the second house. It's a very selfish energy, okay? So understand Venus, how she expresses herself. In your house, you'll be very lusty, all right? Because it's getting to know the world and learning about connections, who I want to be with, that kind of energy. All right? So sensual is pleasure. So, of course, understanding yourself is a real selfish energy. All right? It's not until Venus goes into the 7th house that you start looking for that commitment. All right? So, understand your Venus and why you're probably having a hard time. But anyway, new boo, new love, learning each other. Remember, you represent love, learning. So, you got to understand when Venus expresses it's a very selfish energy. All right? Turn up, party, animal, sex, drugs, and alcohol, surface pleasures. And that is for so we got new boo. So I went back to Taurus. I was in Cancer. Virgo turned up. Virgo, you got a party, animal, sex, drugs, and alcohol, surface pleasures. Be careful, Virgo, because you have, of course, Venus. All right. And I don't know. I didn't do the cosmic weather today. So something this weekend. All right. Be careful if you're not ready to surface level. All right. So if you're seeking true connections, all right, from Pakistan. Hey, from Pakistan. I should go get my pineapple. Chain, codependency on healthy attachments weighing down. And this is for you, Libra. Scorpio, spilling the beans, revealing secrets. The cat is out of the bag, untrustworthy. Sagittarius, reading up, doing the research, learning more, gaining insight. And that's what I love. I love this card. I love that because that's one thing about Sagittarius, the higher mind, higher learning Sagittarius. You might have a way to maybe sharing what you know, right? So you might either want to hide it. So read up. Yeah, just always good to learn. Do your research, learn more. Gain some insight here. And you represent planet Venus. I mean, not Venus. Jupiter. Expansive. Learning, all right? So just make sure that do your research and learn more before you reveal things. All right? Because you might be like, man, I have so much knowledge, but I want to reveal it, but I don't know if I should. Right? That's what that energy brings you. It's like always learning, but not always studying. But like when you learn, you grow, and understanding that life, learning. We always learning different and channeling different information. How you share that energy with Pisces. All right. All right. Understanding maybe a little bit of, because you are, of course, you share that energy with Pisces. So when you understand that you represent many sides of the expansive planet Jupiter, so when you look at that, it's gonna urge you to expand, to grow, but also maybe the urge to expand, but you could also hide things at the same time, because a lot of times it could represent the repercussion of that expansion when you learn something. It's like, because it's all about the beliefs and your faith in things, right? So you might be uncomfortable with the things that you learn. Should I share my beliefs? Or am I gonna change them? You know, because if we recognize our dreams and our belief system, all right, will he accept my son? Hanzala, stop putting all that energy. Please stop putting all that energy, all right? So let's go ahead to Aquarius. No, Capricorn. Capricorn, sneaky link, hidden lover, low key situationship, or a side piece. All right. And you represent that link. All right, because when Capricorn, when you look at the link, Capricorn, you look at the chain, the link. The chain is only those links, right? The chain is only strong as its weakest link. All right. So you got a hidden lover, a low key situation, a side piece. All right. So be careful if you're the side piece. Aquarius, black sheep, rebellion, going against expectations and defying the norms. The black sheep, Aquarius, all right? Defining the norms, and that's what Aquarius represents, right? With Uranus. It doesn't follow tradition. It doesn't follow blindly, all right? Maybe you be the black sheep of the family, doing something different. Wine and dine for you, Pisces. Courtship, consistently dating, romance, and passion. Wine and dine. You got to wine and dine me if you consistently dating one person. It could be one person. It's like the Two of Cups, romance and passion. That's it. That is the news for today. My most important thing is understanding this energy. This energy could lead you to dissatisfaction for both men and women. All right. For both men, you gotta put a little bit more emotion and learn how to blend. All right. And when you look at the integration, when you look at the temperance, and that Mars, the science plus the temperance, that's when it's really, really good, because you're not supposed to just be one thing, you know. A lot of times, of course, uh, something threatens our identity because it says you don't get to be one thing. All right, many blessings to you. Hey, Bernadette. Hey, Bernadette. Bernadette. I'm sorry, I don't want to mess up your last name. Thank you, sis. Same to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you have a question, somebody new, come up in the chat. Let's go. Drop some love. Drop some cosmic fire in this life. Some earth, some water, some air. Let me know you care. If you're here for a little cosmic magic, let me know that you're here. Subscribe, like, and share. Become a member. And yeah, to be inspired, right? Man, a lot of us, again, I'm going to keep saying that over and over again. I really want you to understand when those ones come out. I was going to come into a different, live, but I had a little miss up here. All right. So when we look at when we confuse inspiration for commitment, it feels like, wow, this something feels true, without you living it. And then the moment that you start living it, oh, this is not what I want. All right. When something moves you, before it becomes action, habit, or choice. And when we look at in relationships, right? Choosing the relationship, realizing that this is, yeah. But it requires patience, all right? Light bulb moment and spinning the beans. Yeah, I really like these cards. Yeah, I really like these cards. I want to continue this on Thursday. What's the news so we could get out of the what's the tea, the same thing. I'm trying to do one fun day. Comment down below if you like what's the news. I know this was quick. And I cannot do tarot without the archetypes, and I cannot do it without the understanding where the planets are at, what's happening. Minor arcanas, they represent conjunctions, sextiles, squares, oppositions. That's what they represent. And of course, the major arcana represents planetary archetypes in motion, different dimensions of you. That's it. And yeah, we rise together like stars, quiet and together. When you raise your vibration, your frequency, when you see that time, the energy is lit up, you know, and what is actually stepping out of those tombs. That's what we could do here. We activate that God spark, that flame, that Christ consciousness. All right. What did oh God, you're killing me. Oh boy. You're killing me, dog. Hold on a second. If anybody's new here, want to ask a question, go ahead. Uh, when you have a dream, you grab it and you never let it go. We rise together like stars. Can you please let me know why my son is feeling well? Oh, he's feeling well for the past month. Oh God, that is a sensitive question. Can you? How old is your son? First of all, can you please tell me? Can you please let me know why my son is feeling? What is he feeling? What about Aquarius? Hey, Aquarius. Yeah, I did the whole. I did the whole thing. I did Aquarius. I'm just doing what's the news. I did a soul truth at the beginning, and then I did what's the news. I think I forgot what Aquarius got. Let me see, because I think I shuffled the cards. Yeah, I forgot what Aquarius got. Yeah, I forgot. Darn it, I did. Yep. I'm sorry. Yeah, but how old is he? Hey, Ken. Hey, Queen. What up? What up? What up? Good morning. Hey, he's a Libra. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry for the Libra. Yeah, go back to the live. Let me see. What he said, Virgo. Oh wait. Yeah, it's just a quick message about what's the news. What about my question, Aries? Hey, gang, all day, all day. Aries, Aries, you guys got the masculine, the machismo. All right. I just read a little bit about that. I had to stop at that card, the machismo. You got to understand your masculine and feminine energy. All right, and that's one of the laws of gender. The last law of gender, that they complement each other. You don't got to eliminate that part of you. All right, so tapping into your softness and more into your intuition. I know your driven nature makes you wanna, you could become overwhelmed by it. All right, I'm Salma. Hey, yeah, I know. That's why I knew it. All right. Hey, BS, NYC. Hey, what are we doing today? Hey, Sagittarius. We are doing just a quick soul truth energy before I go ahead and move forward. Uh, with the you versus them. Yeah, I'm gonna just do you versus them, and then I'm just gonna come live. That's all I'm gonna do here. Yeah. So how are you today? You versus them. I'm gonna bring that tomorrow. Tomorrow is, of course, Venus, letting you know how Venus expresses herself in each house. It brings you a different flavor, different energy. All right. So I'm gonna go through each house. And remember, we got personal planets, we got personal energy, and we have, of course, um, for each and every one of us, depending on what we got going on in our lives. All right? On our journey, on our own soul's journey, we are here trying to find our way through the mystery, the complexities, the human strangeness. All right? When we're looking for a career, if we on focus and on schedule, when we find something to do, we do that really well. We start to become a master. We need to get this back focused, find something legitimate. Do something. What are you naturally good at? Immerse yourself in that. What is that one thing that makes you feel like you? All right? What makes you feel like you? All right? Do you like to paint, music, teaching? Do you like tarot, astrology? Do you do the Bible? Science, medicine, physics, beauty, architecture, artisan? All right? The world is of endless possibilities. Do you paint, color, draw? Find something that you really want to do that and do that well. That's it. Yeah, I know. I know you. I know you Sagittarius woman, Libra man. Turns out Libra male likes to seek out women. He's attracted to return to home, peaceful but left sad. Maybe that's for tomorrow. Yeah, and that's what happens. This is what we gotta confront. I like farming, watching things. There you go. I love that. Yeah, that was the bug moon. Yeah, yesterday we had the bug moon. And what does it mean? When we look at the moon phases, I like when the moon exposes things, what's hidden in the home. So a lot of you guys might either somebody confess something to you yesterday because it is a full moon. So somebody probably confessed something, you'd be like, wow. And it reveals your shadows, you know. But it's all about nurturing. One is nurturing, you know, something unhidden that you find out. Yeah. But then we speak out of it speaks a little bit of everything, you know, because it's not a fixed energy. It's always waxing and waning. So it's not reliable, all right? It's not reliable. It's just an emotion. It's part of us, okay? That is biological, all right? That is science, all right? And so understanding that emotions are a part of you, that they are part of your DNA, they're not going anywhere. It's the feeling that you get after that emotion, all right? Understanding a little bit between emotions and, of course, feelings, okay? Feelings are in the mind. Your mind starts to trying to, you know, understand things differently. So it's all in the mind. Yeah, you got to understand. Once you understand emotion, feel, oh, also emotion is part of me. Oh, they're not going anywhere. No, no. You're always going to have emotions. Sometimes they're going to be really low. Sometimes they're going to be really high. They're part of you. They're biological. They're not going anywhere. It's just like fear. Fear, panic sets in. That's going to give you strength. Yeah. All right. Understand that things at another different side of the spectrum. All right. We got to find the middle. All right. Yeah, they're not going anywhere. Yes, things we still lose. Bernadette, let's go ahead with your question. That's a little sensitive for me. All right, Bernadette, I'm going to pin you up. Yeah, things are going to be every time. What is your sign? You just haven't paid attention to it. You haven't paid attention to it. I'm gonna bring in. I'm trying to set something up. Cause I'm always working on different material for the channel. But I want to go in with Sun's Day. I do the Sunday. Whether you understand archangels, archetypes, different sides of you, dimensions, right? Understanding that we occupy. Well, of course, it's physics, not me. We occupy 11 different dimensions, right? So we're in this 3DM, right? This is where we live. This is where energy becomes real, all right? What we do with it? Are we wasting time? Is there life? Are we gonna have live amongst the stars? What is for the future? All right, because there's nothing new under the sun. All right, and when we look at that beautiful sun, when we understand that through our surroundings, things are gonna change. All right, so a lot of people continue to wrestle with the same basic questions of existence, and since human nature never changes, men and women are apart from grace, always looking for answers to the questions and things that cannot satisfy. You understand me? Oh, hey Capricorn. Ooh, I love the Capricorn. Of course, I have Capricorn new moon and of course rising. So I'm a powerful Cap with water. All right, I will mention because people get so crazy about, oh, what is your sign? What is it? Listen. I'm bringing information. Stop all that nonsense. All right, stop all that nonsense. Stop it. You're gonna miss something. You're gonna miss a lesson that's gonna teach you so you can move forward. Forget about it. All right, you forgive. They hurt you, and that's that. But it requires patience. It requires time. So when we look at that horse from the Sun card, it represents independence, freedom, nobleness, endurance, confidence, triumph, heroism, competition, strength, courage, freedom. It's all about the optimism, the energy, that joy, the happiness. We cannot, we're gonna get to that state, right? We're gonna get to that state of being, but we gotta go through the death. We gotta go through the death of the ego. The ego must be integrated. We got to go through some things. We got to go through tower, death. We got to go through those uncomfortable, you know. We don't want to stay in the star and the sun energy, all right? We got to learn how to understand contrast, how we experience. This is how the soul evolves, all right? Uh, you know, and so, yeah, we have to go through it. We don't want to know. I want it easy. No, no, you're not going to grow. You're not going to expand. No, no, no. Oh, I want it easy. I want to stay in the star. I want to stay in the sun. No, no, child, come back over here. I know I used to be so much caught up in the star. I didn't want to deal with. I didn't want to confront things that are, they're uncomfortable. We must confront them and we must forgive. That's the easiest thing, right? Because all our stories intersect hope at the end of the day. We know that something good is still possible. We know, but we must find it. We must find it and we must heal it. And when we understand tension and contrast in our experiences, as we understand our dual natures, we start to understand, well, I need it. Thank God that I learned, you know? And when we start understanding the third eye and the throat, the crown chakra, that frequency you know, of the universe and our ability to transmute negative energy into light. We could turn negative energy into light. I stop all discordant energy the moment, even when I see something, I stop it. I turn it into peace. I turn it into love. I don't let it, don't touch me. It don't. But anyway, yeah. We send our gratitude. We begin to act as, of course, people that have firm and fair energy, empathy. We try to lift others up, helping other people around us. We start getting into that thankful energy for both the bad and the good, so we could stop that passiveness. All right, I'm going to go with you, Capricorn. Capricorn, go ahead and ask me a question again. No, I want to stay where it's comfortable. Know that you're not going to grow. You're going to have a hard time. All right, you're going to have a really, really hard time because, of course, we have good expectations, and, of course, we're always going to get a positive outcome because the star says release what's not yours. Let healing flow when you've been drained. Allow yourself to guide, to be guided, not to push, Stop carrying the weight of others, all right? Like this, for me, a lot of times I get the star card. A lot of times you get the star card, and the star card's telling you, of course, inspiring, guidance, support, But when you're living under the spotlight, you're going to have to learn to tolerate some of the spotlight and being in the center of attention, right? Well, it's okay to shine. Maybe a lot of us are probably the dependent one that other lean, whether spouse, friends, social group, friends, right? And when we really turning that spotlight back onto us, and basically you need to protect your energy. When you anticipate the needs of others, the problem is that others stop thinking ahead. Others stop thinking ahead because you do, You have to learn how to build a micropause when you find yourself towards attacking, right? You count to 10. You give yourself time for someone else to learn to step up. You got to let somebody step up, If you tolerate other people's disappointments, you got to learn how to tolerate that, all right? So you don't keep disappointing yourself, So if you're the one that people depend on, all right? If your money's being affected by friends, yeah. But at the end of the day, let somebody else step up today. Aquarius, let somebody else step up today. Remember that the sun is in Leo. That's the opposite of you. Yeah, I'm still open to questions. I'm having issues with my son girlfriend for many years. How old is he? I'm going to give you, I don't know. I'm trying to see what energy I'm going to give you. All right, because this is a sensitive question. It's a sensitive, it's a very sensitive topic. All right. So my thing is, what is influencing him? Like, what needs to unfold? My better question for you, what needs to unfold in my son's life? All right. Trust me, I have a son too. I have one. Trust me. Ooh wee. Ooh wee. Yeah, ooh wee is what I can say. Man, I got one of those. Man, but we get, we who's toxic? She is toxic. Who? The girlfriend? The girlfriend? How old is he? If you give me his age, I'll give it. Yeah. See, this is what you got to educate yourself. Yeah. You can't speak to her with the same language. We can't. That's what the whole thing. That's what toxic is. Once you, because we got toxic positivity, and that's great, but that only could take you so far. You got to learn a whole new language. You got to show your nervous system a whole new cause and effect. You have to. You have to. You have to. You can't speak to the. Yeah, you can't. They already immune to it. It's like we immune to a lot of the diseases here. We become immune to it. It doesn't even face us. You got to give us something different. Yeah, well, we got to check them at the door. Yeah. But okay, one thing I'm going to help you understand that we all come from, of course, trauma. All right? These are the inner demons. Because if I give you a card, I know what I'm going to get. I might get, most likely than not, I'm going to get a devil card, and that's shadow work. You understand me? And we look at the inner demons, which are those forces that within us that haven't been integrated. And we all go through that. You understand me? We all go through that. So I want to talk about the inner demons. What are they? I'm going to help you a little bit here so you could understand from far, and then you can just educate yourself. All right? We got a lot of tools out there. You educate yourself. You don't speak to her with the same... You can't do that. With people, we're not going to win. Because remember, we constantly projecting. All right? I run my energy through the universe. Period. All right? My son's birthday is what? October 19th. Oh, you can forget about it. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, man. How old is he? 1988? He's 37? He's 37? What is he, 37 or 38? He's 38? Oh, he'll be 38. He'll be 38? Yeah, he'll be 38. Yeah, my daughter's 30. My daughter has a year before. Oh, after. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, that's hard. That's a hard one. And one thing's about Virgos, they're very stubborn. The energy, yeah, once they're in their head about somebody, he must be whipped. He must be whipped. Yeah, he's whipped. I'm sorry. Listen, I lived with one for 17 years. I lived with one for 17 years. Oh, wow. Man. Eventually he'll get over it, but ooh. Does he want to marry her? Does he want to marry her? There, now you can tell him. There, now you can tell him. Yeah. Wow. That's a tough one. That's gonna I'm done a lot of the shadow work. I've been single intentionally to heal. And yeah, that's exactly. And girl, is there anything in particular I need to heal before I meet the person that's for me? All right, so let's go with you. All right, Ken. All right. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's hard because he's probably got to learn a lesson. There's something that he needs to all right, so I'm gonna go with Bernadette. But that's a little bit sticky when you're asking for somebody else. I mean, but what needs to unfold in his life? All right. I don't know. Marriage, God forbid. Yeah, I know. Yeah. No. It's hard. I mean, one thing about Libras, they value their mom, but they remember they represent the seventh. You know, and that Venus, they're ruled by Venus, and of course, wow. It's a real serious commitment. They represent the commitment. Yeah, and sometimes they overgive. What are they doing? Overgiving? I mean, giving and giving and giving, leaving themselves behind just to try to keep a relationship. Let's go ahead here. Yeah, wow. And that we got Ken. Let's see here what advice you get. They might give you like a page. One more. All right. So the good thing about it that this is over. All right. All right. So you got 10 2. All right. So you got the Judgment, the Strength card. All right. So we got between the inner consciousness, the higher wisdom. All right. The hold. So the Ten of Swords represents, of course, limited. All right. Are they suffering from something? Because they show me. Ooh, this is deep. The twins, two energies in one person. All right. Oh. I knew it. Something was so heavy, and I'm like, oh my god. So anyway, you got the Judgment card, and the Judgment card is a card of what needs to unfold in his life, but this is not gonna happen. How many years they've been together? Maybe in 10 years. They've been together 10 years. How long they been together? All right. They haven't seen the truth of a situation, so they need a little bit more. So this is either 8 years or in 10 years. All right. So we said the twins, two energies in one. They've been together over 20 years. Wow, 20 years. And so they started when he was 17. When he was 17, when he was young, right? So the Judgment of cards is a card of consciousness, the Christ consciousness. So when they call you, when it's emergencies and stuff like that, you feel like you're an emotional first responder. You're always there to step up, or all right. And the Strength card, of course, the inner wisdom. All right. So when you know what, the only thing I want to give you here, because I could describe this whole energy, and raising your consciousness, your frequency, changing your the most powerful things that are gonna happen is when you shift, when you get ready to shift your paradigms. When you gotta change your energy, you gotta change your focus. You're focusing too much on their connection. All right, and you're gonna have to let them go through this. Because it's just the level of communication. Like I told you already, it becomes toxic because this hasn't been integrated. You understand? He moved with her. Yeah, but listen, I'm not gonna be able to get through to you right now. All right, because it doesn't really matter. No. So we got limit identity. Hey, thank you so much, sweetie. Thank you. So we got to understand the higher awareness of the Judgment card, all right? Because purpose here, so we look at the vertical and the, now I want to discuss it because that's what I do. I discuss the cards better so I can help you understand the higher awareness, forgiveness, moving forward. So you need to back off this energy and let him, because at the end of the day, he's going to choose this, all right? Because somebody's very high demanding, all right? There's a high demanding energy here. And the only way, because you're going to come back to this energy with the two. Yeah. You're going to come back together with this energy with the two. You're going to come, look, I don't even got to keep going. All right? So what needs to happen here is forgiveness. All right? Because you're going to repeat this cycle again because there's nothing you can do with the 8. So you go 10, 8, 2. And then 4. And back at it again it goes. All right? So he's going to have to go through it. What he's telling you is going to have to happen again. I wanted to say something to you, but I don't know exactly. All right. So don't get caught up in Don't get caught up in it. He's grown already, and I know it hurts. I don't know because this is detrimental already. All right. But sometimes people get addicted. People get addicted to drama. People get addicted to drama at the end of the day. And so the Judgment card is a card of awakening, true revelations. This is gotta happen naturally. All right. This might happen in another 10 years. But this don't happen until we're in our 50s. That awakening, following their true path, listening to the call, all right? Finding that guidance, finding the Christ consciousness. Also, it's about compassion, forgiveness, understanding, all right? When we rise together here, quieting together, they have to change their vibration, their consciousness. It's a race of an awareness, all right? When we bring harmony and peace, all right? So creating a space where you could be, more centered with yourself. I don't know. All right, let me see. So the Ten of Swords is the ending and a new beginning. It's always so you're gonna go to you. Bottom line, you're gonna experience this for another 10 years. Maybe when they're in their 50s, late 40s, 50s, they like it like that. Yeah, yep. Look at the Queen of Swords. Look at them. Look. Yeah. I mean, he's not even sure. He's not even showing up. He's not even showing up with the king. So he just. So just forgive. I mean, just practice some forgiveness, some kind compassion. You know, when you operate from your higher, when your higher self, you become more grounded, more rooted in truth. You know, just listen to your inner voice and things like that. There's nothing that you can do. I'll step outside, and when my kids are that age, I'll give them guidance and comfort, and I let them know, you know, like, where are you to go? Are you gonna go to church? Where are you in life, and what are your beliefs? Because it goes back to the religion. All right. Like, what energy do you have to offer them? What tools do you have to offer them? Because we're talking about higher mind. We're talking about Jupiter's energy. Jupiter, I think is in Gemini. I believe Jupiter's in Gemini. All right, and that's bringing us blessings in love, forgiveness, understanding. So I think they got a good chance at healing things, because Jupiter, when it comes to love, you know, it's not a love. That's Venus's energy, and Venus right now is in Virgo. So I will have to explain a whole lot to you. All right, but Jupiter is about the blessings that come from forgiveness, and that's what it's offering right now. That's what that judgment came out. And also, when the eclipses, there's an eclipse happening in August. So you know, this is a time when you start seeing things new, you know, and helping them. But that's all you can do. You can do but so much when it comes to other people's relationship, right? Because when the Queen of Swords comes out, you know, that's authenticity, emotional freedom in a relationship, expressing something that I've been holding back, that I could bring clarity. You know, there's going to be something mentally, and expressing yourself, what you're feeling, instead of holding it in. All right. But expressing yourself in a healthier way than the same thing, like I just told you. You know, one of the things about the Queen or King of Swords, of course, they're impartial and biased and level-headed. You know, making decisions based on facts, not feelings and opinions. Doing the right thing. You know what I mean? It judges fairly, equally, and thoughtful. All right, I'm going to move forward. When you get to the high awareness card, yeah. Da 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 da. What happened here? Oh, wait a minute. I didn't hit this. Let me see what she said. All right. Yeah, I'll pray for him. I'll pray for him. I put him in my prayer book. Yeah, you gotta when you get that card, you gotta understand a little bit about. See, the only thing I ask people to understand, they Mercury, all right, because this is how that sign expresses itself. And Mercury is a fickle. It got the best and worst sides of Mercury. It's fickle, but it's always laying out plans. It's forever laying out plans. But the communication, you know, they could be on. They don't know how to express themselves. You know, perhaps unsure the most helpful way to share knowledge. You know, and of course they might show how I'm gonna act in my dreams, or how I'm experiencing in the reality here. You understand me? So I always try to help people to help other people. You know, that's our duty here. All right. And then you get the Queen of Wands. You know, that assertiveness. You know, one thing about when she says to you, the fire, the spirit, go in the heart. Yeah, I know it's air, but I want you to understand. No, you're not. You got to understand. We go through dimensions. We experience life through these different archetypes. Is what I want you to understand. So this is why I spend a lot of time here explaining this, so other people can forgive. All right. And then when you get the Queen of Wands, she's all about that spirit, that fire. You know, when you draw from that energy. You know, one thing about her, she's firm and fair with empathy, and try to lift others up by helping them, the people around them. You know, we got to get into a good habit of practicing gratitude, being thankful for both the good and the bad. You know, because there's a lot of it about passiveness. But when we get to that assertive energy, when you self-assured, you draw power from that energy to get your point across. You understand? You got to draw energy from the Queen of Wands. All right, she represents inspiration, motivation, uplifting others. All right, you cannot get in the same energy. Fire and of course air creates more. It creates more. The wind is gonna fume everything out. You know what I mean? There needs to be some water, some empathy, to because it just moves everything around. All right, it makes it bigger. It expands, and that's what Jupiter does. It expands the mind, the consciousness. Again, they might not be aware of it, or they might be addicted to drama. All right, this is how everybody deals with it different. I know I live with a Libra for a long time. They understand themselves. Just pray for them. That's what you could do. Just send them your best. Get in a new frequency. Learn how to just expand your consciousness and become more aware that we can't control what goes in other people's mind. Is none of we have no control over that. Study a little bit of stoicism. Do a little stoicism. Study that, and I think that's gonna help you. That helped me a lot. Yeah, that helped me so much to understand what goes on in other people's mind. It has nothing to do with me, It has nothing, and I just learned that to accept things, and be thankful that I get to learn these lessons, and again, life doesn't give us balance. We have to make choices every day, It's what we choose to engage in. All right, it could be detrimental, yeah, because we get. Listen again. Of course. Now, should I say that? No, I'm not gonna say that. But anyway, there's limit identity here, and then everything in our life. When we limit our identity to a couple of group of people, everything in our life starts to become like a curse, and it's not. All right, it's the ending. Endings are new beginnings, and be grateful for the lessons, and that your son's still here. Just give him the guidance through. Just pray. The only thing you can do is pray, and that's it. Just don't try not to get involved. All right. Oh boy. I'm thankful for the lessons that are shaping you. Yeah, you'll do it. Yeah, don't get so caught up. I know it hurts, but I won't get so caught up. But when we don't have the tools, all right, we don't know where to begin. But just study a little stoicism. Yeah. How do I suppress? I'm holding on. I don't know how long I can hold on to this. You're afraid that you're gonna lose control. I know that you have, like, when we look, it's like when a job, look, it's like we are told that we are to have a lot of control. All right. Sometimes when we don't express ourselves in a healthy way, it leads to we lose control, and we could do a lot of things. When the animal, because the animal wants to make sure it's happy, right? Our instincts. So between instinct and your intuition, because you're operating from a high level of consciousness. All right. When you understand tension a little bit, I'm gonna explain tension. I'll be right back, and I gotta get my charger. I'm gonna explain tension, so when you get that energy, you understand what's happening. All right. Tension is trying to complete itself at a higher level of consciousness, and now that you have that ability, you have the ability to hold without collapsing. Right. You have the strength. My soul will come back home. Ouch. Oh my God, I'm stuck. I gotta go charge my phone. All right, I'll be right with you. Let me see what he asked me. Hey, Michael. Hey, sending you love. Hey, Michael. What's up, Mike? All right, let me see. I know he asked me. Who asked me a question before? I'm gonna go move to another person. Yeah, I gotta move to another person. Sorry. Yeah. I'm playing with my life. I'm playing with my light. What we're gonna talk about? I always like to bring a little extra. Yeah. I'm gonna scroll to your question. Give me a second, London. Give me a second, London. Yeah, with mothers, man. I know it's heartbreaking, but yeah, man. Thank God. At least there's a new beginning here. It's not gonna happen right away. Hold on. I'm gonna pause this for a minute. All right, I'm back. So is still here? London is still here? Who's still here? Because I wanted to get into a little bit of the trials of the soul. When you get to that, when you get to tension, are you still here? Is Bernadette still here? With people is impossible. With people is impossible. All right, Kenny. I mean, London. I'm sorry. You gotta understand the trials of the soul. When we get that card, the human intelligence with the animal instincts, we should know a little bit better. All right, that's taking us into higher awareness. And when we look at the sets of consciousness and the experiences that force us growth and self awareness, right? Because when we view confronting darkness as part of transformation rather than proof of evil, all right. We don't destroy parts of ourselves. We just gotta integrate them. But anyway, if we remove tension, we remove the meaning of our stories. All right, and understand that we all are expanding as the universe expands under tension. All right, this is why a lot of tarot cards they show conflict before resolution. This is why we don't skip that 3. I see a lot of people skip the 3. London, what was the question that you asked me again? Let me go back to you, and I think she left. There's not going to be no resolution until she understands people's forces. There's darkness. There's things that we haven't healed. All right, and so they're always going to show up. You know, when the shadow shows up like that, you know, unhealed wounds, past pain that still influences emotions and behaviors. We got to understand that this is his mental health is very bad. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. There's unhealed. As soon as I see that 6, there's things that we haven't healed, and that you have to stick. You have to sit with him. All right. I knew that was gonna be sensitive. Oh my god, I knew that was gonna take a lot of my time. All right, introspection, very important. Yeah, that's you going inward and listening to that voice. But that you know, anything, even mindfulness, it requires this is a technique. You know, require us is practice. All right, and we don't listen to that voice. We try to move against it. But when we understand the representations of fear, wounds, and destructive impulses of the unresolved struggles with a person's psyche, all right, and when we look at the from the psychological perspective, you know, those parts of ourselves that create inner conflict, suffering, and self-sabotage, all right? You don't see my question. Yeah, tell me again. That's what I was waiting for. Yeah, tell me the question again. Go ahead. We got to understand the what they call the inner demons. All right? Those they represent fear of abandonment, failure, rejection, losing control, unhealed wound, past pain that still influences emotions and behavior. All right? When we understand the idea of Carl Jung, of course, the shadow, hidden parts deny ourselves. The anger, the jealousy, shame, guilt, resentment, hidden desires, suppressed emotions. All right? Across mythology and religion, those symbolizes forces that tempt, distort, and our perception. They drain our life energy and they create chaos and they separate people from wisdom and truth. All right? Those are trials of the soul, tests of consciousness. And those experiences are forcing us to grow and to become more self-aware of who we are, right? Because when we confront darkness, that's a part of you confronting or something that you have hidden for a long time. All right? So, all right? If you don't understand parts of you, if you haven't healed parts of you, all right, you got to bring them, you got to transform them and bring them into wisdom and strength. You have to. And when they show me that and they always show me that energy. We have the capacity, but is there anything in particular that I need to heal the most before meeting the person? Oh, I like that. All right, let's see what you have to heal. Let's see what you have to heal. London, thank you. Welcome to the channel. You know, one thing about the sacred pressure and trusting our own gravity, because if we remove tension, you remove meaning. No tension, no initiation, no growth, no archetype, no movement, no story. All right? When we understand the universe expanding under tension, a lot of times they show, again, I'm going to go back to tension. But why is tension alive, right? Because the universe is mental and we are alive, of course. We're here. You know, our spirit is here. And so why tension exists, the thing is, can you stay present inside tension without collapsing, escaping, or forcing resolution, right? And I see a lot of times what kind of tension we're holding, and when we tend to discharge it too fast. We're being trained by archetypes anyway. Let's go ahead. It takes me right back to when I get that. Once I get that judgment card, I already know your past is calling to heal it. It's time to answer the call. You haven't answered the call. What are you waiting for? You're not seeing. You're supposed to be seeing your patterns by now. Now you're going to repeat the same patterns. Once you get to the A, you should be a little operating from a higher level of consciousness. One more. Period. One more. One more. One more. One more. One more. One more. You have the Queen of Cups. You have the Nine of Cups. The three. Wow. All right. So you got the two. So you got the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is a card of emotional fulfillment. Of course, it's a card of celebrating my wins, things like that. Like, what makes you feel happy? What makes you feel? I don't know if you are you single, right? Because you say you were single. So what you must heal is your friendships, the dynamics of your friendships. All right. If you're the one that's always laying out the plans, because this person is always laying down plans. All right. I don't know if you're a person that picks up people, give people rides. All right. So how's your dynamic, your friendships, your social life? Either you're getting out a lot or you're spending a lot of time. You're spending a lot of time by yourself. All right. Are you indulgent here? So one thing about the Queen of Cups, all right, she's psychic, her senses, you know, like where are you right now in your social life? All right. Where are you right now here? Because the devil represents what? What do you think the devil represents for you? The links, your family, your lineage. Healing your family lineage here. Or your groups of friends. You know, one thing about the Queen of Cups and her spiritual message, all right? She reminds you that you're sensitive is a gift. It's not something that is hiding. You don't hide your gifts, all right? I'm on a dating apps and I spend most of my time by myself. Yeah, but I'm open. Yeah, but the thing here with the Queen of, you know, she reminds you that, of course, your sensitivity is not something that you hide. All right? It's not something that you hide. So basically, what is your rising? First of all, what's your sign? You show up here with a lot of emotions. But understanding your emotions, they are part of your they don't have to become your identity because they are biologically a part of who you are. They're not going. But the feeling, all right? You don't have no swords here. The swords for me is the mind, all right? So this is about inspiration, planning. If you're always planning, all right, what are you here? All right? Who are you here in this group, in this here? Because if we live only in inspiration and we only stay planning, we've got to get grounded and real to what we really want, right? Living in the emotional realm of life, feeling your way through life, right? Or let me see, I'm Aries with Libra. Oh, you're Aries with Libra. Oh, okay. Because the energy is telling you to let the inner waters guide you. You know, it asks you to be centered around emotional clarity, intuition, and compassion. All right. Maybe today, I don't know if you're feeling more sensitive in a good way. Fantastic, because your heart is open, it's receptive, and aligned with your deeper knowing. Okay, you're picking up people's intuitions and intentions. All right. Today you might be, I don't know, because today you might be moving more differently. All right. But this is the thing here. Your Gemini moon. This is the thing here. You have to be a little bit more selfish. All right. You understand the Villa era? How you understand the Villa era? Unapologetically you. You know, that doesn't mean once you learn how to, because that's probably what you're doing now, since you said that you're alone. Once you learn to do the things that you have to do for you, all right, without apology, all right, you understand me? You have to learn how to say no. Pause, all right, because your money's being affected by your social group, all right. The truly embodiment of this, all right, of this energy here to be to really be authentic and be happy without over explaining, you know, all those things that make you. All right. So at the end of the day, we stop confusing here. All right, because this is to be inspired. All right. Understand that inspiration is the idea, but embodiment here, to embodiment this card here, it is to practice this. All right. Stop confusing here again, and we all do that. To be inspired, right? For commitment, because inspiration is feel to feel truth without yet living it. You know, you understand what I mean? It's the moment that you see that something moves before it becomes action. All right, because before it becomes habit or choice here. All right. So you go back, because you don't want to go back around circling this. Hey, yes. All right. So understand that an emotional and spiritual insight here that lives in the heart. Okay, there's something here that lives in the heart. Inspiration is not commitment. It's not consistency. It's not follow through. It's not capacity. All right, it's the embodiment of that. So understand it to really feel it. All right. So either you're giving it or you're receiving here. At the end of the day, something subtle is guiding you. You know, what energy surrounding you, your friendships, group, just things like that. Trust your intuition over logic. All right. So the Queen of Cups is just bringing you softness and a connection. You know that you might probably get emotional, or you might get a sign that someone cares more than they show. Somebody might care for you more than they show. All right. If you're healing, do it beautifully. All right. Protect your energy. Don't absorb other people's negative energy. Drink water. Rest. Stay grounded. All right. Journal, meditate, breathe work, practice gratitude. If something feels off or new, you understand me? She's really, really deep. All right. And so watch the people that you connect with, your social groups. All right. Celebrate your wins. Go out if you want to experience other people's energy. You know, just connect more. If you're looking for affection and love, you know. Queen. One thing about the Queen of Energy, she doesn't really lead. She manages her emotions carefully. All right. So embody it before it becomes reality. Exactly. All right. Because with the Queen energy here, you know what's going to shift here for you. You got to turn something into emotional intelligence, discernment, and self-trust in yourself. You're no longer trying to be strong. You're already strong here. All right. So one of the things about the Queen energy, she's sovereignty and authority. You know, she goes inward. The man is all about receptivity, giving out. The energy is outward. She's all inward. She got the ancient relic. She holds this beautiful ancient relic, the connection to divinity. All right. We look at the Ark of the. Do you study the Bible? Because when we look at this represents the Ark of the Covenant, which was this is funny. Oh man, I love this. I wish I was talking about this more often than not. Because we look at the roundhouse churches, the Knights Templars, they went because this is of course the 201s, as you understand it represents inspiration. But the Knights Templars went because the Ark of the Covenant was lost in the Bible. All right, nobody really know where it's at, so they came from Central Europe into America, and they hid it. There were things that are hidden. That of course, when the moon's in your house, it's going to be exposed. All right. These are round churches. All right, that the guy's sitting on top. All right, but it's saying if you're happy where you at with your friends, your community, if not a fan network. You understand? That's what it's telling you when you get this person is always laying out plans, but not really living them. All right. But if you're happy where you're at in your life, are you happy? Are you really emotional, content with your life is at, with your group of friends? All right. Are you setting no? Are you setting boundaries? I mean, it goes on and on and on. But like I say here, I explain a lot here when we look and understand the Celtics and Druids and all that stuff. You know, this is ancient primordial. Understanding something deeper. Venus, it was born from a form of the sea. Your Venus, your love, you know, you want. People should feel relaxed around you, happy, warm. You understand? I could go real, real deep. When you understand Venus was born from a form of the sea. All right? I mean, this goes deep. But anyway, network, get out there, join other groups, say no without feeling guilty. She says no. All right? She doesn't have to explain or give. Watch your connections if you want more connections. You know, all those things. You understand me? This is deep. All right? So watch it. You stop explaining yourself. You stop chasing validation. You start waiting for closure. Your presence sets a tone without effort. Your boundaries become natural, not defensive. You respond only when it's aligned for you. Right? This is earned power here. You know, this is not performative confidence. You choose to, you choose when to be soft and when to be vulnerable. You know, you stop being gentle at your own expense all the time. You know, she says, I know who I am, you know. Meet me here. I got my heart so it can remain open, so it can survive. You understand me? And so soft and firm, all right? Without too much apologizing. Meet me here. You meet me here. You got it? And this Queen of Cups is really, really, but anyway, at the end, when you look at the ancient relic, this ancient artifact, she holds the most pressure, her connection. If you sever your connection to the divine, all right, what path are you choosing? Because this, maybe, I don't know if you're focused on money and success, right? Because this is what it represents, all right? You have to get into your soft girl era. So how to have the softness between this? Because if you're not growing here, right? A lot of people say, you know what? People that has traumatic experiences, they have a trauma with money, all right, and they don't take care of it. They demonize money, all right, but money has value in it because you put your hard work into it, right? So I mean, I could take it really, really deep because I know this cards really, really, really deep, all right. So I'm gonna explain a little bit about tension because that's what I do here, all right, and understanding there are parts of you that you probably have to heal, all right, at the same time. You know, there's thoughts that this, I don't see nothing here with, let me see. Absolutely, I want to love, just patient, and I am in the process of building something financially good. Good. All right. Watch your thought patterns, this addiction, compulsions, toxic cycles that you might repeat. All right. Because here you got the two. All right. And understand when we get the shadow, the unknown, the rejected self. When we look at monsters like this, they represent pain that has become frightened. There's pain here that has become frightened because you avoided something here, okay? The chains, the bondage, the addiction, limitations, confusion. There could be struggles. There could be so many things, all right? Because, of course, the devil symbolizes attachment, obsession, fear, and unhealthy patterns, feeling trapped by desires or wounds. But symbolically, this lens, of course, you know that they are loose, all right? Meaning that awareness and conscious choice could break the cycle for you, all right? And so when we understand tension, at the end of the day, can you stay present during tension? Because you, guess what? Without collapsing, all right? So a lot of people, you know, when they say, oh, you know, when you use your organs of action, all right, people don't sway. You know, you don't sway because you got to keep yourself busy with something productive, all right? So if a child gets out of, you know, you got to keep them busy. Basically, keeping yourself busy. So this is what this change represent. All right, you're supposed to grow in the darkness. All right, a lot of people. That's one thing. Darkness doesn't have a problem and doesn't have a trauma with money. It says I got to do what I have to do. All right, these are just monsters. They represent unhealed wounds and patterns, and you get to see them now. Right, you get to see the patterns. This brings you awareness. I think you're aware of it. All right, that's what it represents. At the end of the day, you know, when you tend to discharge your tension. All right. So are you under tension? How are you feeling? All right. And when we understand holding polarity, black and white thinking here, you're no longer thinking black and white. All right. You're supposed to be at a higher level of awareness here. All right. Basically, the bigger your container, the more complexity you can hold without breaking. All right. Without breaking, it's right there. The chains are there. All right. It's showing you where you're limited. The chains show you where you're limited. All right. Where are your limitations? One thing about Saturn is through restriction, it limits you. It limits you. It's like Venus here and Saturn when it comes to love. Saturn, Venus gives the love, and then Saturn limits you. How far you willing to go? You're not gonna go that. I know that you're not going that ahead. You did that already. All right. And so anyway, so if you don't feel safe in the middle here, emotionally, God. So basically, here at the end of the day, if you don't have no gradual pace, no gray area, no slow building here, this is what it slows you down. This is why it gives you the discipline. You understand me? And this helps us all to build. So we got when it comes to Saturn's energy here, for me that represent because it rules Capricorn. All right, and Capricorn is in the first house of your identity. This is let me see what you said there. You gotta, when you understand it, be like, oh, sweat. All right. So finding your center when you return to that stable place, that the inner position, the part of you that is grounded. All right, that is clear, that is not reacting from fear. All right, because this one shows you where you're limiting, where your fears are, where you're bounded at. All right, you understand? No, this is really, really deep. I like this. But when you're off center, you react from pride, fear, hurt. You're not trying to control outcomes. You're anxious about how somebody feels about you. If you're overthinking everything, if your mood depends on or somebody else's mood. When you're centered, you feel like, okay, I'm hurt, but I won't explode. Love center, I care about this, but I'll be okay either way. I'll be okay either way. I want this, but I won't beg for it. I love you, but I won't abandon myself. I'm not going to abandon myself. That's inner stability. When you find a center, when we return to a stable inner position, so when we connect with other people, so basically what needs emotional blending, what requires maturity, what involving, there's two different things here of energies, learning to balance. But if you handle it with patience, it leads to celebration and stability. All right? What energy, because what energy feels rushed here, if somebody's pulling back slowly, if things slow down. But a lot of at the end of the day, when Venus, yeah, this is deep. When Venus goes into which is right now in Virgo, when Venus goes in the seventh house, it's gonna give you justice. It's called a cosmic recalibration. All right. And so anyway, at the end of the day, when we look at a dual nature, it simply means two opposites coexisting, light, dark, right? Life and death. All right. I'm going to explain this whole thing for the ones that are here, the ones that want to learn. All right. I have Venus. Oh, okay. And that Saturn is in there too. I don't know, Well, Saturn is in, of course, in Aries. All right. Venus is in the 6th house. All right. But at the end of the day, when you understand duality shows that reality appears in pairs of opposites. Okay. That's our reality, and we in the 3rd dimension. All right. This is how we experience life here. The work, our habits, our routines, stuff like that. You don't want to get stuck too much in routine. You want to have room for flexibility. All right. So duality shows that that reality appears often in pairs. Polarity explains the relationship between these two opposites. Instead of completely separating these polarities, they show that they are two ends of the same spectrum. All right. When you start to understand polarity, for example, hot and cold, joy and sadness, love and hate, they are not separated forces. All right. They are different degrees of the same energy. All right. And when you look at the idea, discussing traditions like Hermeticism, especially in the teachings of the principle of polarity, all right, teaches that opposites are identical in nature, but they are different in degrees, all right? And so, yeah. It seems like opposite, but they're actually different levels of the same thing, okay? And polarity is, in simple terms, duality. It shows that they are two sides, all right? And it shows that those two sides are connected to the same line. They're connected to the same line. All right. So that's what it's basically showing you. But people don't. Yeah, there's an attachment there. All right. So you start seeing your patterns. And so when duality and the polarity are connected, because it's paradox, what happens when these two archetypes, because everything is anyway. At the end of the day, this is how tarot works. All right. Everything has polar opposites here. All right. Every last card. All right. And so, can they exist together? Because the duality creates balance and contrast understanding. one side, you wouldn't be able to recognize this. All right, because at the end of the day, a third of capacity must be formed. What's in the chat? Hey, you like it? You like it, right? This is why I spent time here. Hey, goddess, you got to understand this energy. So when you see it, be like, oh, 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 I'm seeing that. Thank God that it's showing up. All right. Thank God that it's showing up. All right. When you see light and darkness, it reveals darkness. When you let me tell you something. Light and darkness. Light reveals, and darkness conceals. It conceals things here. All right. Both are necessary because it allows activity. Now allows rest, right? And they allows activity. All right. And this allows rest. All right. I hate people in the chat. What? I hate people. Stop saying, this is crazy. But anyway, understanding creation and destruction. Many forces create and destroy at the same time. Just like fire can burn, all right? Fire can warm and it could burn us, all right? And then storm they destroy, but they renew ecosystems. So you really got to go really deep into this energy. I like to explain it from a planetary energy, but we understand that one thing about Pluto and listen, I know them always, so it'll take me long. And when you understand Pluto, it's in retrograde in the 11th house, the social house. All right, it's breaking those things that those old structures must go. It's giving you that time there. You got it. People be settling so much more for no good reason. You got it. You understand it now? All right, understanding. When you're reading tarot, you're already reading archetypes in motion. All right, and we look at life and death. Life and death are not separated process, but they're part of the same cycle, because it's birth that leads to growth and eventually to transformation. So the mind and the heart, you must often experience tension between logic, analysis, feeling, and intuition. All right, and of course the heart becomes wisdom from balancing both. Order and chaos. Order brings stability, and it brings structure. Chaos brings change and evolution. Too much of either creates a balance here. All right. So when you understand, you understand the symbol, the yin and the yang, right? Associated with Taoism, light within darkness, darkness within light. Meaning of course of these opposites are interconnected rather than enemies. They're not enemies. All right. And so when we look at why duality exists, because duality allows us to perceive and understand reality, all right? But because we understand joy, because we have felt sadness, and we recognize truth, because we all have seen illusion. Contrast is what makes your life meaningful. And when you educate yourself, be like, oh, I'm learning. You're learning, you're growing, all right? We're not here to cancel these two polar opposite forces. They're incomplete. If these two opposing forces, each of them is incomplete on its own, okay, it creates attraction and conflict, movement and integration. Both of these poles got to remain intact. Neither dominates and incapacity appears here. And so that makes you look like a monster, right? But these are this is another part of you that don't be like affected by this, because this is a dark part of you. All right? At the end of the day, when we learn how paradoxes resolve into wisdom, and why people collapse to one side. All right, because that's basically, at the end of the day, that's how the ego works. It works in binaries: this or that, safe or dangerous, right or wrong. All right, this is why our mind struggles. All right, we don't get to be one thing. All right, and that's why a lot of times why paradoxes often appears during growth and not comfort. All right. I don't know what you've been told. To really understand that devil card, people don't really understand it until they come here. Until you come here. That's a side of you. Now, if you got unhealed wounds, if you haven't done your shadow work, then you go do it. All right? How can I overcome that part in your which part? The dark part? You ask it what it come to teach me. Ask it. What am I here to learn? Do shadow work. All right? I talk about it so much that all right? When you see that, at the end of the day, that unresolved tension tries to complete itself at a high level of consciousness. It appears in psychology, spirituality, philosophy. It points to the natural tendency of the mind and soul to unfinished experience. We seek an integration at the end of the day, all right? When you understand the psyche seeks wholeness, and when we look at unresolved emotions or conflicts it creates inattention. Your mind naturally wants to resolve tension because the brain prefers coherence and balance. That's how we work, all right? If something isn't understood or healed, it tends to resurface in our thoughts and repeat in our relationship, and it's going to appear in our dreams, in our reflection, in our moon. It's going to show you. You got to do the work, all right? I mean, it's easy for me to say do the work. I want to explain it to you, all right, so you can become more aware and you expand the container. Because when tension first appears, a person's emotional or mental capacity, it might not be large enough to process it, you know, but you got the capacity here to process. Look, you should be able to understand here to process this, all right? This has been lost. Nobody really know what the Ark of the Covenant is, all right? When all the nice Templars came from in the roundhouse churches looking for it, they left a lot of clues for us in the churches. You know, when we look at the sun rising east to west, right? We got to understand and why the churches all are facing east, all right? There's something, I love this stuff. People be throwing real evil retinas. When you understand this energy, listen, at the end of the day, you have enough large here, you know, to process it. Over time, experience grows, perspective expands, emotional maturity develops. At that point, the same tension can be seen from a higher level of awareness. All right? And basically, you know, when we react, you know, from fear, you know, because at the end of the day, the mind completes unfinished patterns, you know. And when we have these unfinished experiences, we always want to seek closure. Look, it's like this. Listen, let me tell you something. How we always want to transmute. Yeah, we could transmute. We could do a lot of stuff. But anyway, listen. It's like when you hear part of a melody, you want the ending. All right, or you start a story and you need resolution. All right, the psychic always moves towards completion of a pattern. It's gonna continue to. Yeah. You gotta complete this pattern here. We always need that. All right. And so it's like that's why you watch tarot over and over and over again, because the story is still ongoing until you get the resolution. Then you'll be like, all right, I'm okay now. And when does that happen? That's why you stay stuck watching over and over again, because they give you a lot of story. All right, I'm giving you the truth. All right, I'm not here to create no story. All right, the story is never ending, and you're gonna watch. It's like when we watch an episode and it goes on. What is the longest episode right now? What is the longest episode right now? You love it, right? The longest episode right now, in all history since I was young, is The Simpsons. All right? It's The Simpsons. It's still going and going and going. It predicts a lot of the things, right? And whether they get all those predictions from. All right? You understand me now, right? You got to understand here. And it's hard for some people to understand, because when it comes to death, the energy of death here, energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be trapped or transformed. All right? It's the physical. It's bacteria of the dust of the ground. And everything is a cycle. Things, people recycle. Nature recycles. You know, where the dust, you know, where it comes from. When a woman is pregnant, where does dust come from? All right? From the dust of the ground. They are breathing it in. Humans are being formed. All right? And the sperm travels to get ignited with the pineal gland to receive energy. And that becomes the soul. And the soul is, is being grown in the mother's womb as the goddess creator. And when she's breathing in the dust of the ground, they become conjugated. All right? And it starts to form the limbs, the organs, etc. with the pure energy. That ether. We got to understand some things here, right? Anyway, at the end of the day, that being is being grown in your loins. Okay? The etheric beings are being formed. 9-month cycle. All right? All right? So, understand that the people that are not aware, they'll be like, oh, what are you talking about? All right? Oh, boy. I lost some people there. They're not ready for that. They're not ready. They're not ready for that, but that's okay. I'm not here if you. I'm here for the ones that want the truth. And at the end of the day, you're going to learn a general lesson. So your question was, all right, you break it down. All right. We got to stop confusing inspiration for commitment. All right. We feel the truth. You know, because when we get inspired, oh man, I feel it without yet living it. It's the moment that something moves you before it becomes action, habit, or choice. Because after that, you know, we get that faded meat. All right. All right. Anybody else has a question before I go? Okay. So you got the card of being very happy. Are you alone? Where are you in your life, in your social group? Are you expanding the frame? All right. Are you doing morning rituals? Are you cleaning, refreshing? Are you drinking a lot of water? All right. Are you attracting abundance? Are you writing down the things that you're grateful for? You know, I could give you something so, you know, earthy. But I like to take people to a higher level of consciousness or awareness. You know, are you connecting mindfully? Are you inhaling, exhaling? Are you doing those deep breaths? Are you igniting clarity, creativity, burning candles, incense, oils, self-heal, meditation? Are you doing 10 to 30 minutes, all right, of meditation, gratitude? Are you being open to change? Are you searching your body, yoga, dance? Are you writing down your goals, you know, your intentions for the day? Are you nourishing yourself? Are you giving yourself love? Are you going for walks in nature? What are you doing? Okay? What are you basically doing? All right? When will my angel powers activate? Didn't I tell you before? All right? I hope it's before 25. You got to go heal. There's some parts of us, and then I don't know. I think Saturday I'm going to talk about the shadow. It's a long, long process. And people only got a short extension span. Yeah. All right? You know, one thing about the death card, so much wisdom is about bringing death, so much wisdom is about bringing death close. Remember that you are going to die. When you think of that all is lost, you ask death, and death will reply, I have not touched you yet. You're still alive, so bringing death close, that's the liberation to allow you to feel safe in any situation, circumstance. It's a symbol of your evolution and your soul making that transition, all right? And I don't really speak about that a lot, all right? So live so fully that when you come across a threshold, you can look back and say, oh, yeah, I stood up for myself. I dealt with my childhood traumas. I really lived. I got to experience love. I laughed. I danced. I drank. I drank that wine. I kissed the lover. You know, I stood up for what I believe. I believe in myself. You know, the wisest advices a warrior has is death, is to hear your lineage, all right? Understanding the Bushido code. All right, Carlos Castaneda, Memento Mori, do the stoic energy. Get in there and do what you got to do. All right? Because there's a lot of people that in the smallest ways letting go and feeling safe, being able not to be in a relationship. That doesn't work because they are scared of the death of the relationship. All right? They are just scared, you know, basically. When we get the death of the ego, is to liberate us, to put death on the ego, all right? Is to transmute the energy, all right? And understand the death, the organism. It's a huge appetite to figure out how to get out of here. I want to get out of here, all right? You know, like, listen, when I get that death card, Lucky, hey, one other thing, London, all right, I am lucky and I'm happy that you're here. Now, one of the things here, you know, that the death also brings, I like when it comes out, this death energy, you're here to change, all right? So do you work very well with people or with a group, all right? Are you more drawn to helping individually or transforming large systems and structures, all right? What are the purchases that you're making, all right? Are you ready to move into a new home? Are you selling old furniture and buying new ones? Are you getting a new wardrobe? Personal transformation is there. All right. What are you doing to help other people transform? Because this is not, you know, death is not the cutest thing. All right. Like it's not surface level work here. All right. Are you out with the old, in there with the new kind of energy here? All right. You know, you got a placement there. A lot of people, when they get that placement, it's a gift, the death energy. And you're being placed in an environment that forces evolution. Sometimes you outgrow people, you outgrow systems, they outgrow you. Sometimes life upgrade by dismantling what was comfortable. That means that something is no longer sustainable in your surroundings. You know, you're surrounded by transformative energy here. All right? So when you get that card, all right, it talks about exposing, purging, and there's a very deep, intense energy, all right? That is the emotional tone of it. In practical terms, the energy around you feeling intense or final. A policy shifting, leadership, all right? A change in the system, collapsing home, social circles, changing in relationship. That's what Pluto brings, the transformation, and it is happening in Aquarius, all right? In the 11th house, all right? So understand that. All right. That is it. I'm getting out of here. I think I got a little bit more squeeze in me. All right. Hey, Lucky, healing. All right. And that's one thing about healing. I mean, it's a long. It's just like learning. It's a long life process. All right. It's a long life process when it comes to that. All right. It's not. You ending one phase, you starting another one. It's not death, it's not that, it's transformation. It's all about accepting change, releasing what no longer serves you, and trusting the process of renewal. All right? Letting go of the relationship, habit, or belief, or all identity. All right? If you're going through a major life change or personal transformation, all right? If you're closing a chapter so something new can begin, cutting ties, shedding old skin, healing after significant loss, or ending or reinventing themselves, or changing their priorities, all right? Pulling back to process major changes, ending an old dynamic between you, preparing yourself completely, a way of relating to something that you're so used to, all right? Choosing not to continue things as they are, you know? So you could be living alone, actively leaving all behind, bad habits, or something, because you got to let something new emerge, you know? One thing about that we're going to do here, let me see here. Starseed, okay, and challenging. Yeah, and it's going to happen. You're going to allow it. One thing about when we experience that personal transformation, that those are transcendental states of feeling shivering energy of the chi, the life force, that kundalini energy, all right? So that's going to raise your body. And that could be frightening at first because it will change you forever. It's going to lead you down a profound path of learning everything that you can about the energy. Yoga, movement, meditation. You need to learn how to control, how to utilize that cosmic force that moves through you, the Indra, the Pangala, and the planet of Pluto there, you know. It's going to bring you the death of the old, the ego, that transformation, you know. And when we look at Euphicus, we're going to start hearing, well, not hearing, we're going to be receiving upgrades through the 13th zodiac, which is Euphicus. I don't know how to pronounce the name. All right? Because at the end of the day, when we look at Pluto, the planet of death and transformation, it symbols that snake. And we're going to attend many funerals this year. And all of them, they're going to be mine. You know, that one thing about the snaky Pluto energy, that is going to thrash you around. It's going to transform you into a completely different person. All right? And how you're going to make peace with the transformative energy that have been circling. You understand? It's going to be deep. I'm Archangel, all right? Which Archangel are you, Lucky? The Archangel, I'm also an empath too, of course. All right? But, you know, one thing about empath, and I like when I say I'm an empath. You're not here to take other people's problems. You're here to deliver truth. All right? As uncomfortable as it is, all right? One thing about, and that's crazy that you came in at the end of this life, because that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about. You're not here to solve everybody's problem. You're here to honor your energy, to cleanse your energy. You're Michael. You walk with Michael. You know about the sword. So you know about the sword. You know you took the initiative. What you want to know about Archangel Michael? You don't have to summon something that you walk with. You walk with Michael. Did he show you you did the initiation? Did he show you the sword? Was the sword, you know, because when you ask, you don't say what I'm talking about. If you walk with Michael, come on in. I love this. All right. He showed you the sword. Wait, so you asked a question. How was the sword looked? How did the sword look when you asked Michael? Man, I'm not here to fix nobody. I'm here to tell you the truth. I'm holding space for you. And pretty much that's it. Compassion and kindness. All right, with assertiveness, firm and fair. And I'm going to tell you, you know, because it's a lot, you know. Empaths think that they're supposed to hold everybody, and that depletes your energy. All right. We'll talk about Michael on Sunday. Come back on Sunday. We're gonna get into the whole Michael energy. All right. And so yeah, and understand a little bit of Michael. Right. And how can you access more of Michael, more of Ariel, more of course Uriel. Uh, oh, okay. Yes, Samuel. Yeah. The first fallen one. All right. One thing I want to tell empaths: what other people feel is none of your business. All right. You're not here to fix anyone or everything for everyone. You're gonna honor your sensitive nature. You're gonna take care of your energy. That's your main priority. Saying no is a healthy way to set boundaries. Self care is the path to attract amazing people. All right. And of course, if you're a super big heart, super feeler, you don't owe anyone any explanation on why you feel that way. And understand that your sensitive nature is your strength, your source, and your intuition. You understand? People get mistaken. Oh, I'm an empath. No, you just like to help people, and you really don't take care of yourself. No. All right. And then when we look at the Stoic system, is believing that the only thing that is truly under our control is our own judgments, decisions, and actions. Everything else, such as the external events and other people's opinions or our bodily condition, are indifferent. Right. The things that we shouldn't attach so much value or emotion to. You know. We focus on what we can control and being indifferent to what we cannot control, and that way we can achieve inner peace and happiness. And one of those main challenges that we face in life is dealing with adversity and hardship. So Stoicism helps you, of course. It'll show you basically how to live in harmony with nature and reason, to have that rational civil state of mind. All right, how you control what is under your power, and I accept what is whether personal loss, a professional setback, a health issue, or conflict with someone else. Okay, we often feel overwhelmed and frustrated by the obstacles that stand in our way, and of course, when we use these difficulties as opportunities to grow, to improve ourselves instead of complaining and blaming, when we become to that level of awareness. All right, realms in third charge toll. All right. A lot of times here we don't have that much time to do it all here. But one thing about religion, because it gives you a form, but spirituality gives you a feeling. Because your body already knows. Your body's super intelligent. All right. Your body knows things. It senses things. All right. And the difference between that is not about which is better, but structure versus direct experience. Religion is the container. Spirituality is the experience inside that container. And so when we understand that spirituality is a personal and experimental experience, it focuses on direct connection with the sacred, the divine, well, with your higher self. That's going to just help you transform. It's going to give you that inner transformation, personal truth, that mystical experience, consciousness, and awareness. It doesn't require a form or an institution, because you could be spiritual without belonging to any temple, church, or doctrine. All right, I'm not going to pick a book here and say, here, uh, I fought for God. All right, the devil scares of man. Yeah, that's one thing that we attach so much to the devil, and the devil's another part of you. That's it. It's just your darkness. All right, it's part of the dark things, the things that you're not ready to accept. And when people talk to me about the devil, show me what's the devil at. All right. Uh, but anyway, listen, at the end of the day, you can be spiritual without belonging to a temple, church, or a doctrine. So what is your direct experience? Is it inward? All right. Are they communal? Is it structure? Because it requires organizations and belief system, sacred trust that you don't understand, rituals, traditions, moral codes, right? Religion is all about what's being revealed, thought, and preserved by tradition and examples: Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Buddhism, Hinduism. Religion says here's the path, and spirituality says walk and see. All right, it's different. So I don't get caught up with the devil and I don't get caught up with none of that. I know light and darkness. All right, and between those two, I emerge. All right, I don't choose one. I don't collapse. All right. I understand the paradox restores identity because you don't get to be one thing only. That's why paradox often appears during growth, not comfort. All right. And why our mind struggle is the right or wrong, safe or dangerous, this or that. I don't do that. I don't live that way. All right. Yeah. It's not that it's a force. I'm talking about, yeah, but it's a force in you. All right. So within you is outside of you. All right. Anger. So you got the emotion because it's part of your DNA. It's part of who you are. Science says it, not me. And then the feeling that you get out of that. All right. So if you have unhealed wounds, we all struggle with something. All right. So I don't do none of that. This is the devil. That you got to understand what energy is. All right. And we understand that life is when we understand that life as a constant, consistent process of life, death, and resurrection, with each stage of consciousness that we evolve into, it requires a death to the previous stage of consciousness so that we can rise up into another level of manifestation. All right? There's only repetition and continuous cycle of death, birth, and resurrection. And the resurrection is about raising your energy, and you exist as a duplicate of divinity, and your potential is to become again like divinity, and you have all the attributes of the Godhead, the Christ, the anointed one. It's about raising people's awareness. Ancient Kemet was about raising your energy. So I don't do that. I don't do that too well because I'm very educated, and I took my time. We got to understand, and we go through this process of refinement, and each step is an opportunity to evolve spiritually, to approach closer to the ultimate realization of one's true nature, and to break free from the cycles of reincarnation known as the wheel of samsara. We go through this, all right? But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. If somebody else has a question, go ahead. I am both the devil and Jesus. You still, yeah. I'm not even gonna go there. I started a 2-4 Angel Wars chat. I like that. I'll go check it out. How old are you? One thing about here when we come, we don't get wisdom here. Here's wisdom. No, it is through experience. All right. You seek higher knowledge, learning. You get it. And right now it's important because Jupiter is in Gemini. All right. Took Cove down on my own. You took the okay down on my own. Good. Understanding your sword, understanding the initiation process, the surrender to the energy. Whatever's trying to teach you. All right. It's gonna be hard. Nobody wants to go through that process because it takes long. Oh, your water. So your fluidity. All right. Your realms. You stay in that realm. What realms you stay in more? What do you think you operate with more? With fire? I fought on both sides. I found it fun. Oh, boy. Anyway, listen. Raise your polarity. That's it. All right? Just raise your polarity and understand inspiration. Because nothing happens without it, but we don't want to confuse that with commitment. All right? We need we need consistency. We need follow through. We need capacity, and yeah, we need to just understand a little bit more than what we are aware of. All right, I fought on both sides. Yeah. So yep. When we understand our villa and aligning ourselves. Nobody else has a question? When we align with every mindful choice we make that is aligned with your well-being and that of others as well, it creates a ripple effect of healing. All right? Especially when we practice patience and compassion, of course. When we understand the karmic cycle, it's a process that requires effort and time. When you approach your healing journey with self-compassion, patience, and understanding, when you start recognizing your mistakes, and the natural part of the human being. All right? I've held the sun in my hand. All right, I'm out of here. I thank you guys so much. Wow, you deep. Divine blessings are coming. And stay centered. Find your center. Find that place where you trust yourself, even when you don't have no certainty. Let me see. All realms open, man. Oh, okay. All right. I like that. I like that when you said Matt. All realms open, Matt. Man, I would like to talk to you, Lucky. I would love to. Like what's like when you go through these different states of consciousness and you'll become more like, because you have to do you have to do some study meditation. You have to really get in there and commune. Like you got to get in. Listen, there's some things that I don't understand. I want to understand. And when you wake up, like let's say you take a nap, when you get up in the morning, and you have all these things. It's not you, because you have not fully yet. It's there. Hey, this is what you got to do. Do you do it? Uh, what do you do? You know. Anyway, all the realms of existences, dimensions, and as you experience in the hidden knowledge when we're dealing with duality, because a lot of times we mistake emotional urges for intuition, because this can lead to following, of course, secular groups, cult in the name of spirituality, which could be very negative and wrong, you know. So if you struggle spiritually, if you're trying to get behind the veil but not necessarily succeed in your spiritual path, is hard. If you're unwilling to accept your feminine side, all right, you're not making time for spiritual study. You know, if you get caught up with the material side of life, the things in front of the veil, all right, if you're looking at things without any depth, superficial information, if you ignore your intuition or your own understanding, you'll be more dominant to one side, right? That's unfinished tension trying to resolve itself. That's all that is. Yeah. Yeah. My level's so high. Yeah, wow. Wow, I love that. Man, I love that. Let me give you want me to give you a card? Let me see what energy you got here, because I'm dying to know. Man, that'll blow your mind. You want me to give you a card or no? Let me see. I robbed the house of the angel of honor. I love the energy that you bring. Mm-mm-mm. So basically, is it plausible that our humankind has a future amongst the stars? That's that. I'm so far ahead there. I'm like a millennia ahead. I'm a millennia ahead. Do we have a future among the stars? That's the thing. Because of course it's likely to unfold over centuries, even millennia, rather than in the near future. So we already have begun taking those first steps. We maintain a continuous presence in Earth orbits, right? And aboard the international space. People don't want to know about that. No, I don't want to know about that. All right. We got multiple organizations. They're developing technologies for long-term missions to the moon and Mars. And scientists are researching propulsion systems, closed loops, life supports, and the methods for surviving in deep space. How many people watched Interstellar? All right. Oh boy. Nobody likes that. All right, I'm getting out of here. All right, guys, that's it. That's where we stop. That is it. Yes, it's plausible that humankind has future among the stars, and we get to live amongst the stars in the near future. And yeah, that's cool. That is really cool. I can control earth, air, fire, wind. You can? I love that. Let me see. I'm dying to see your energy, but I'm not going to do it without you. I'm dying to see your energy. All right. All right, because you didn't ask me to, but... Wow, that's deep, man. That's deep. I almost don't want to... What's your sign? What's your sign? There's an entire kingdom in the clouds. Oh, not you. Wow. All right, let me get out of here before I get into the heavens, because I want to, man. When I talk about the heavens and what does it mean? It's gonna blow your mind. I can't wait to I think I'll bring that Saturday. When we talk about the heavens, we're gonna talk about the heavens. I gotta go. I love you guys so much. And I see you guys Emperor Swords. Swords. Emperor Swords? Emperor Swords. Emperor. Okay. Alright. Epic chat. Yeah. Listen guys, tomorrow's Venus, Venusian day. How to get with the Venus energy. Understand, my thing is letting you know where Venus is at. It expresses expresses itself different. It's more personal, especially when you go, because when the first and second house is a very selfish card. It's a very selfish energy. It makes you want to do the things for you, for your growth, your money, what you value, friends. So it can become very selfish. So with that being said, I have to go. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for the ones that joined me live. Thank you so much for the super chats, or what's it called? Super thanks. Is it super thanks? Thank you. Take care. You too. You too, sweetie. Thank you, boo. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Come ask me any questions tomorrow. God of Chaos. We're going to look into your energy. Thank you. Yes. Power. Power. Fight the power. When you have a dream, go grab it and never let it go. All right? Go share. It helps people think about life, work, and their behavior. So, help other people, and understand and trust your inner spark. A feeling of possibility, a sense of meaning, an emotion, and spiritual insight. Remember that inspiration lives in the heart, so be mindful of your heart. Your heart is magnetic, and your thoughts are electrical. Keep them positive. Remember, wherever you focus, your energy grows. All right? And enjoy this beautiful Thursday. Okay, guys. Love you guys. Bye. Have a great day.